you see and understand that although I don't come from your world, I never watched tennis, didn't grow up playing tennis. That is the furthest thing from my mind. But for me to be able to educate myself on the sport, to be able to, again, offer up closest to my heart, which is the music and DJing and production and all those elements. And little by little, they continue to give me more and more responsibilities. And, and by the grace of God, I'm able to rise to that occasion, provide a good experience for these guys.
So you didn't grow up, you never heard of Pepito Smashing Index? You never heard of him?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's my man right there.
Yo, I'll tell you, if you are ever there and a Puerto Rican brother or sister gets to that, you probably gonna run out the booth, right? Like, did you forget what you was doing up there?
Yeah, no, it's happening. So there's a young lady. She's of Puerto Rican descent who plays in the tournament. I'm always rooting for her. But she's unbelievable, and she gets pretty deep in the tournament. She's been pretty she was competitive. She kept it competitive during the year. Yeah. But yeah, always rooting for her, you know what I mean? Always rooting for the black and brown people, always.
you got to, man, because
we have to. We listen, we have to. It's very important.
We walked past plenty of basketball courts, handball courts to go to that tennis court to do that thing.
There's a
lot of people we just need one more. Hey, yo, Merced, we need one more. Nah, man, I got it. I'm over it. Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiending, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking with One, this episode, Spinning Success, how DJ Mode sets the tone for music, sports, and culture with our guest DJ Mode NYC, season 2, episode 96. DJ Mode, I'm still out here grinding. How are you today, though?
I love it. I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, there may be some people that don't know you, so let me help them out. Let me just drop a couple little nuggets. We'll get into some stuff, but just warm them up a little bit. On today's episode, we're joined by DJ Mode, a music curator, producer, and entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience in the industry. He's worked with global brands like Nike, Pepsi, Peloton, Netflix, bringing high energy performances to major events like the US Open, NBA Games, and New York Fashion Week. As the CEO and founder of My Music Experience, DJ Mode continues to shape the sound of top tier events, blending creativity, culture, and unforgettable music moments. I think, DJ Mode, they may have an inkling.
Listen, you gave them a lot there, so
they don't know. Now they know.
That about sums it up. I think we could end here. I want to end on a high note. I love to go out like that. I'm like, all right, cool. That sounds great. I did all that. Okay, word. Okay.
Yeah. So let's kind of start at the beginning. You may have told it, but how did you get started as a DJ, and what inspired you to pursue this career?
For sure. I think, it was around 11, 12 years old. I was in the car with the family. We're driving. I'm listening to radio. You got Cool DJ Red Alert rocking out, mixing. So for me, I began to get curious about, you hear full length songs, right? I'm always hearing, we hear the radio all day. Music is a part of our household. It's instant, right? As a baby, you're hearing full records. So for me, it was interesting to hear, I didn't hear the second verse of that song. Oh, wait a second. He just went from this to this. I was just kind of perplexed as to why the music changed up so much, right? So I began asking questions and being like, hey, what's that? Oh, it's because he's a DJ. It's because he's cutting up the records. He's doing this, he's doing that. Well, I said, your uncle's a DJ. This is what they tell me. I'm like, all right, cool. So one New Year's Eve, I go to his house, and let's say it's 6, 7 o'clock. My mom's like, yo, you got to send them back home by, a certain time. It's New Year's, my child at home, whatever. I got on those turntables. He allowed me to play with his records and mess around with he was meticulous about, he was watching me like a hawk, making sure I'm not scratching stuff up, messing up his needles or whatever. And I got the opportunity to kind of touch a turntable, understand what a mixer was, the kind of those technical aspects. He gave me the bare bone basics and was like, look, go have fun, explore. And I didn't get off. He called my mother. He was like, your son's not coming home tonight. He's going to sleep over. Like, he's going to hang. Like, I was like 5, 6, 7 hours going through his records, doing all his stuff. And so that was kind of like the spark in me that made me get excited about learning more about the art form of DJing. So from there, I began to research, study, got some VHS cassettes, watching that, and then got a summer job, bought my first pair of turntables, these Gemini XL 500s. They're the bass model. They skip a lot. You got to put a quarter on the head shell to make sure that it stays on. I developed the finest, lightest touch ever, which has helped me out in the past. It was one of those things that was like some people would have seen it as a setback or potential challenge to overcome. Yeah. And that skill set of being able to be on those terrible turntables, I was able to kind of make it, something that I turned into it's part of my skill set. Like now the way that when I do vinyl sets, I have the super light touch now. But yeah, so then I got into that and then started collecting records. And by 17, I was interning at the Scratch DJ Academy, which is a DJ school started by Jam Master Jay here in New York.
Whoa. No pressure. That's the only school I would have had perfect attendance at. I'm telling you. Doug, you hear already?
No one cut those classes. They were making them.
Yeah, like you was at your uncle's house. They'd be like, Donato, it's time to go, man. It's time to go. We done for the day.
They couldn't kick me out. Like I was like, once I got started, I was like, that was it. I found the thing that I was most passionate about. I found the thing that I fell in love with. Like I always loved music, but being able to kind of manipulate the records and control the tempo and set the ambiance for a crowd, and that to me became like something that I got like enamored with, and possibly it's like a little bit of the control thing, right? Like I'm the conductor at the helm. Like there was a bit of ego in the beginning and doing all that stuff, but now it's like something that I really derive a lot of joy from, like being able to affect the atmosphere, to be able to put out those really beautiful frequencies, to make sure that I'm an impactful and I'm like an integral piece of a live sports event, that the memories that are made, they're tied to what it is that I've contributed, and that to me is like really fulfilling.
What did those conversations turn out once you really started blossoming into that skill set with your uncle? I bet the OG was like, yeah, young buck, you're not there yet, or man, you have surpassed. Like as you grew, and did you ever kind of check back or he check in? How did that relationship go on?
It was an interesting dynamic, right? Because that was like his side hustle, I would say, right? Like he had his day job and it was a side hustle. He didn't want to let those records go. He didn't want to share the kind of like more knowledge past that. He was like, yo, you got this now. Like you got to take that ball and run with it. And it was only until many, many years later that, he came to me. He mentioned how proud he was of me. I got a few of his records. Like he was like, you can take these crates. Like that was really cool. But he wasn't, I just don't think that the time allotted for him, he had a family, he had all those things for him to kind of like, for me to be under his mentorship, for him to kind of give me that opportunity to do more with it. But he was like, hey, he definitely planted the seed, which I was super grateful for.
Yo, he got kids?
Yeah.
None of them DJs. Let me back this up here. So you got a couple cousins that don't like you. He gave you a crate, maybe crates he didn't even give them. Whatever was in the crate that he gave you, like I'm sensing some tension here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that was a real thing. No, I'm not even like, yeah, I wish I was like, I can't underplay that. Like I have his old set of turntables when he passed, like that was beautiful to like, I have those. I was able to get those when he passed away. They're one of my most cherished items, like it's something I'll never let go of because of that. But yeah, because right, everybody loves music. They would just love to have it in their house. They were, yes. But it was like, no one was arguing with me, but under their breath, it was like, a lot of muttering of like, damn, why him? Why you get that? But it was always great, Yeah, I'm like, I got everything else, like rock out. But like this is a constant reminder of him. And, it's a beautiful moment, for me.
Oh yeah. I can just imagine that. Can you share the story behind My Music Experience and what you aim to achieve with it?
Sure. Yeah. So for me, it was about, it came to a point in my career where I began to receive a lot of requests for private events, right? Weddings, birthday parties, sweet 16s, things like of that nature. And so for me, it was very important for me to it can't be everywhere at once, right? So to kind of like grow and scale the business and say, okay, this is bigger than me. Ultimately, a legacy and an opportunity to give back to the other DJs, right? To provide opportunities for other guys and other DJs that I've deemed talented who may not be in front of as many people, right? So I'm getting seen because I'm at a nightclub. I'm getting seen because I'm at Madison Square Garden, and certain people would love to hire me and things like that. But at least I could curate kind of a set of talent, or like a talent pool that I can pull from to provide opportunities and reach back and say, hey, you know what? The same way that somebody got me a gig, here, I'm gonna hook you up with a gig, right? And to me, it's like providing experiences from real talented artists. There's like a specialty in mixing and in being able to kind of create an ambiance and create a live experience that not all the DJs have that experience, right? Like not all DJs can do a wedding. Not all DJs can do the US Open. It's a different level of skill set. So for me, I could kind of go comb through the talent and kind of cultivate and have a hand in someone else's success, and then also still provide this incredible experience for, you know, those in attendance and for the private clients and, you know, corporate clients as well. We do. So it just became that I was getting, you know, flooded with a lot of work, and I was like, okay, I could just pass this off. I could just say, hey, I'm not available. Have a nice day. Or I can create, you know, a company that would be able to, you know, take advantage of these opportunities, and then also, you know, hook up some people that I think really deserve the opportunity to be seen.
I see two levels that. So I got the serious question, and then I got the funny question. Which one you want first?
Let's go with the funny one. Let's start there. Let's go on a light note to start.
You seem like a cool cat, and I already see your range, dog, because all the different places that you've been. But come on, man! Like at the U.S. Open, that ain't the block party. So that's got to be a challenge because. And yo, no disrespect to those attendees. I want to go. I'm gonna take my kids or tennis players up there. We'd like to see it, but it's a different wealth status, background, genre of music that they have an affinity for. How hard was that for you to cultivate a playlist and know that this is gonna pop?
Let me tell you, man. It is one of those things that at the beginning, that was all that was on my mind, right? So I'm entering into an affluent, you know, sporting experience, very, you know, highbrow. They do things a certain way. It's very particular. And but for me, music is it's the universal language, right? Like no matter where you're from, what you speak, this is something that we could all agree on. Yeah. A good song's a good song. So for me, I feel like in the beginning, again, there were those insecurities were there. It was like, let me see what I can do to kind of come into your world. And I think after the second or third year, I began to say, hey, I have a point of view. I have a way of doing things. I have a voice, right? And so the way I communicate is through music, the way that I can kind of like pace an evening and create an experience, give you music and educate you on things that you might not know you want, but that fit right, like parallel to what your style and taste is, right? So did I feel did I feel the eyeballs on me? Did I experience it? Yeah, I'm a Puerto Rican kid from the Bronx going into the US Open, which is, you know, there's a Grand Slam tennis match. It's the biggest tournament for them. That's their Super Bowl. Yes. And for me to be a part of that, to get that opportunity, I can't be more grateful. So for me, that was what it was. I walked into that opportunity with gratitude. I walked into the opportunity with wanting to learn, being observant, but also saying I've got something here to offer. And what is so great that since 2014, I've been a part of it. I'm still there. They still call me back every year. I must be doing something right. You know, it's incredibly humbling every time I get that call, because it's like, okay, you guys still value what it is that I bring to the table here. You see and understand that although I don't come from your world, I never watched tennis, didn't grow up playing tennis. That is the furthest thing from my mind. But for me to be able to educate myself on the sport, to be able to, again, offer up my, you know, what is the closest to my heart, which is the music and DJing and production and all those elements. And little by little, they continue to give me more and more responsibilities. And, you know, and by the grace of God, I'm able to rise to that occasion and provide a good experience for these guys.
So you didn't grow up. You never heard of Pepito Smashing Index? You never heard of him?
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that's my man right there.
Yo, I'm tell you, well. If you are ever there and a Puerto Rican brother or sister gets to that, you probably gonna run out the booth, right? Like you gonna forget what you was doing up there.
Yeah, no, it's happening. So there's a young lady. She's of Puerto Rican descent who plays in the tournament.
What's her name?
I'm always rooting for her. I wish I knew it off the top of my head. We could do the Googles and we'll find her later. You can put it in the show notes. Yeah. But she's unbelievable, and she gets pretty deep in the tournament. She's been pretty she was competitive. She kept it competitive during the year. Yeah. But yeah, always rooting for her. You know what I mean? Always rooting for the black and brown people. Always.
you got to, man, because
we have to. We listen. We have to. It's very important.
We walked past plenty of basketball courts, handball courts to go to that tennis court to do that thing.
There's a
lot of people that we just need one more. Hey, yo, Merced, we need one more. Nah, man, I got it. I'm over it. How about this though? This was the serious one. Mm-hmm. So with my music experience, and you got your squad, now you're sending them to, like you said, if you're booked, you're double booked. You're sending somebody to the Hamptons. You're sending somebody to another place where maybe you have already done before. I feel like that would be a challenge for you because you're maybe laying the groundwork. You're telling them, hey, bro, this is how you do it when you get there. But what you just said is, you walk that fine line as El Jefe, but you also have to say, use your artistic expression. Like, how do you balance that when you're telling someone to go to these spots?
For sure. It could be challenging depending on the archetype of person, right? So for me, it's of course, I'm from the culture. I'm a student of music, and I love the art form and all the things. But yeah, also there's a business to run here, and the clients that I built and the relationships that I built, that's a level of kind of like what's the word I'm looking for here? It's such an investment of time, energy, right? And so for me to get those clients, what's terrific about it though, and having this long career, is that I've been able to weed out the ones who are not malleable, who are not interested in learning, who are not excited about the opportunity, and saying, hey, listen, trust me because I've been here and I've done the groundwork. And, I thank God for my team that they're able to put that trust in me to say, yeah, what he says goes, right? He's going to run the play and I'm going to follow along, right? And as they continue to build up and I see that they can handle said responsibility, then we're going to continue to grow. And it's only going to provide more opportunities for them to grow as a DJ, as a business person, and things like that. So I want to see them win. So I'm empowering them. This is not to be restrictive. It's more so just say, hey, yes, when you do your thing, you're not playing for yourself. Like we're here to do a job. We're here to make people happy. We're here to, please the client, right? But with that being said, you're the expert here. You're the one that knows this lane. You know the music, right? So just make wise decisions and be able to, in a respectful manner, assert yourself where you need to. But for the most part, I've been very, very fortunate that everyone's been kind of on point with that. So yeah, I could see how that could be a problem depending on the person. And again, there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of especially from the DJ community. But I think the way that I approach them, I cut through all that. Like I speak to them man to man, woman to man, anyone that I'm dealing with and I'm working with, we've developed a personal relationship first. We understand the dynamics and then, we move forward.
So I'm in the corporate world, man. I mean, well, if the pod takes off, I'm doing this 24/7. But
your mouth to God's ears. Let's go. Come on.
Shannon Sharp's just holding my position for me right now.
That's it. He's keeping the seat warm. That's
all he's doing. I'm about to take that. But I want to go a little further to what you just said, because I feel like I literally could just clip what you just said and take it to my next consultation, my next HR meeting, and I can offer that to people, because DJ Mode, there's a lot of young brothers and sisters that come from like where you come from and where I come from. And man, we got to code switch, we got to do a lot of different things, but you seem like you got some quiet confidence in how you were able to get to where you are. You don't act like you had to sell out, and we all trying to do it like you doing it, dog. Can you kind of tell us how you acquired that type of confidence to, for lack of better words, to keep it real while you're trying to keep it moving and moving in an upward manner?
Listen, let me tell you something, man. That hit me. I received that. That was a beautiful. I appreciate that, because that is that's something that I think I've always kept in my subconscious, right? And it's when I began, that was the mission, right? Like I was like, listen, I'm not taking off the hat. I'm not taking off the jersey. This is me at 19 years old going to go do a Maxim party, or being put in position to DJ for Britney. Whatever those opportunities were, it was so important for me to remain myself, to remain authentic, and to remain grounded. Right. I have a really strong faith practice. I'm a believer, you know, and I'm Christian. And so for me, those things was like, there was never like a thought to get a big head about it or to do anything like that. For me, I walked into these opportunities, and it was like, now that I've gotten to be in this room, it is super duper important for these people to understand that guys that look like me, or guys that come from where I come from, you know, again, the next person that grew up in the Throxec projects, that comes through, that looks for an opportunity, that comes up as a professional, but may not look like the, you know, typical person that you're used to dealing with, you know. And so for me, that was very important, to remain myself through this all, to not do that, to not compromise, you know, who I am to get the opportunity. But to me, it was never worth it to do that. And again, I felt like as if I approach these things, I show respect, you know, I expected in return. And I approached things, you know, I did my studies, I did the research, I understood the business, I knew how to operate in teams and work with people, and again, learn all the soft skills. And I'm grateful for all the people that I learned from, and all the books that I read, and all the information that I was able to receive, to be able to again, equip myself and feel confident. Like, you're confident because you're prepared, right? So all that prep work, I did it. I put in the 10,000 hours. I knew that when I showed up, I got this stage right here. I own this. Like, this is something that I do very well. And again, dealing with clients and dealing with, you know, these people that, you know, it could be intimidating, right? And it is. There's an energy, there's an air about it. There's a way they speak to you, to try and find a chink in the armor, to see what they could exploit, to see what they could take advantage of. And for me, it was important to, again, serve as an example for people, just to say, oh snap, dude's in a fitted, he's rocking at the US Open. He doesn't compromise who he is, and God's blessed him and put him in that position, right? Like, that to me is something that I value and I hold near and dear to my heart. And I pray that's what comes through. And I'm happy that you saw that, and I'm thankful for that. Yeah.
All right, gloves coming off right now. Coming off. Oh, hold on, man. I gotta hit you with one or two hard ones. Like, people's like, stop throwing that dude lives. I'm about to smack the floor and play some full court D right now.
Okay.
Here comes the hard one. All right, you don't get to deflect off of this. You gotta answer this one.
All right.
My name is Bobby. I'm from Austin, Texas. My money is nice. Don't worry about it. I got 3 of those Lamborghini Urus SUVs. Like, don't even worry about that. So I'm gonna fly you in. You're gonna rock my party. We in Austin, Texas. I said my name's Bobby. It don't even really matter how many of these pink polo shirts that I wear. You coming to the party. What's the first song you gonna drop with all that I just gave you?
With all that, that's a great question. First song. I mean, I'm going on headlining set, or I'm setting the tone, I'm setting the vibe. Like, wait, like, is this doors opening and I'm there and I'm rocking start to finish?
I got nobody else. I only have you.
Start to finish. Oh man, that is a good one. Let's see where I take it. Oh, I'm going Drive Slow, Kanye, GLC.
Oh
yeah, or you know what? I maybe even keep it more interesting. I got an edit of Drive Slow. I probably play my own joint, like, you know what I mean, with that beat. That beat is hard. It's a mellow, chill vibe, but it's also, there's nobody that's not, you know, not in their head at the bar, getting ready to turn up through the night. So that to me is like a really great record to begin this hypothetical party that you got going on.
You know,
Bobby's 40th birthday party, you know what I'm saying? Like, that'll be, that's what I'll start with.
I don't like hypotheticals, but then it's fun sometimes. And I thought I threw you off there because I was like, my name's Bobby, and I didn't really want to get into like ethnicity or anything, but the pink polos. I wanted you to know my money was nice. I got them Lamborghinis, and But okay, none of that threw you off.
But it's not gonna throw me off, you know what? Because it's like to me, it's like Bobby ain't the only one at the party, right? And Bobby is, you'd be surprised at how many people go into it like, I'm running this, I'm the boss. They want they want at the end of the day for their people to be like, yo, your party was crazy. Like, yo, that shit was off the hook. Like everybody had a great time. Like that's the memorable part of a party. Nobody, a wedding, a birthday party, they don't remember nothing but the food and the music.
No doubt.
That's it. That's the most important thing. So for me, I still go in there with the same game plan of I'm watching consistently. Like to me, I'm literally picking up off the energy. It's definitely one of my giftings. Like I have that, like I can feel it in the air. Like, okay, we need to take a turn. We need to go here with the music. We need to do things like that. That's experience. That's, you know, studying, having a deep enough bag and catalog to be able to take it anywhere you need to take it. Again, knowing your region, knowing the records that are hot here, knowing the records that these people grew up on. Like there's so much prep that goes into when you're traveling to DJ as well, and being in these different kind of spaces. Like, so for me, that to me is, I would still business as usual, you know, but watching the client as well to make sure that, you know, Bobby's on the table too at some point, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, I just want you to know that was hypothetical. I don't have that many Lamborghinis because I didn't want to get you too excited.
Okay.
I think the model was letting me know.
Unless I'm getting paid with the Lambo, then that to me is irrelevant. I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I'm happy for you.
I didn't want you to think you was coming out here like next week.
Listen, if ever this person comes to you and it's like, yo, I need a DJ, like holla, you hit me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Send me the message.
I'll do that. So longevity in the game with 20 years experience in the industry, with over 20 years, how have you seen the DJ and the music scene evolve? Because when someone says you've been around that long, DJ Mo, man, you a dinosaur, right? Like that's what happens sometimes to some people. You stick with, yo, I'm a sucker for cornrows and manicured toes. Like that's where you stay. But bro, we in 2025. So with the evolving, if you're not going to be the old fuddy-duddy that says, man, we're going to just take it back to the oversized white t-shirt era and I'm going to live there. Again, how have you seen the DJ and music scene evolve?
It's interesting, right? That to me it's a great question because I feel like it is night and day from, let's say, when I began to where it is currently. And for DJs, it's all about growth. I think as people, we need to look at life like that, right? Like in every season, you have to reinvent yourself. You got about 5 years, you know, window where you should be learning a new skill, growing in that way, right? Like people assume, right? You see the vinyl in the back, like, oh, I got records down. Cool. The technology is going to completely evolve. The atmosphere, the type of music, the styles, everything is going to play to there. And to me, music is such a huge part of culture. So the DJs that win and are able to succeed are the ones that are tapped into the culture, who are really authentically, like truly immersed in it and are able to kind of to capitalize on that. So for me, going from back then where DJs had to bring out 7-8 crates of records and the party was about the party and it was like, yo, listen, we're going to dance, we're going to party, what's going to, like, that was, you know, the golden era of that, you know, the 2000s where people were, you know, the big nightclubs and the whole thing. And that was a thing to be there, to be seen. And I think it's changed now with, you know, the addition of, you know, and the advent of the social media and, you know, it being more so about sharing with your experience with other people that are not there, you know, kind of like the FOMO culture that we have to be like, yo, I want to show you that I'm here. Am I having a great time? No, but I'm here. So unfortunately, I think for DJs, a lot of them are jaded by the club scene, the lounge scene. I think there's, you know, a new kind of resurgence for authentic music experiences. And that's why you're seeing the coffee shop pop-ups and, you know, the Paris apartment, you know, series, things like that. The one bedroom apartment one, there's some super dope ones out there and you're curating the crowd. And these guys are like, yo, we're putting our phones away. We're putting them in Faraday bags. Like, we're just going to vibe out. We're going to let the DJ take us on a journey. And DJs are excited to play those small venues versus playing a club in Vegas, like that has, you know, 2,000 people. Right. So for me, like, I'm so grateful and so thankful that I play in the live sports arena, that I'm able to have this direct, immediate reaction with people and that interaction. And I get immediate feedback on what I'm doing, because I feel like in the nightclubs and in the lounges, a lot of people are there to be seen. A lot of people are there to, you know, girls are in the corner taking selfies and dudes are just me mugging the whole time. I'm like, there's no dancing, there's no intermingling. Right. It feels very off. You know, there's a lot of, you know, kind of like negativity that comes along with that experience. So I when I talk to my DJ friends, they're all citing those things as the reason why they've been jaded or fallen a little bit out of love with DJing live big parties and things like that. So yeah, I think you have to continue to observe and evolve and do it in a way that you're comfortable with, right? Yeah. Like without compromising your art form and playing music that you enjoy playing. And then I think that you'll still enjoy the art form and, you know, be able to like evolve in a good way, in a healthy manner. You know what I mean? Like where you can kind of change with the times rather than being so stuck, rooted in one thing. Like, good luck winning, you know, in 2025 where everything is short attention spans, the new hot song, the new thing. So if, again, I do enjoy certain things, but what you listen to on your private time is probably not what you're going to play, or not that version of what you're going to play. So I think that, you know, some people get frustrated because a lot of people don't like change. They're not super comfortable with it. And so, you know, it's one of those things that could be difficult for older DJs to transition into a new thing if they're so deeply rooted in like, no, but this was amazing, this was working, kind of like romanticizing that time. Yeah, they won't be able to see what's special about 2025, you know. And that to me is just a mindset thing, you know. And it differs for different people, you know.
I like that. I gotta ask you a question that we might offend a few DJs out there. Okay. I got another hard one. Okay, so I put that full court defense on you. You got away with that. You got a layup, but I got like a finger on it. But you got the layup. Coach looked at me. We coming back down. Now I'm face guarding you with this.
Okay.
There are a lot of online DJs. So we're hearing so many DJs. Like maybe in our day, you can't go to a club every day of the week, right? But at home now, I might be able to listen to 2 or 3 DJs within 1 hour while I'm working out because they're on YouTube and they're doing a live set. So now I'm hearing this dude from Paris. I got this dude from Thailand. I got this kid from Minnesota that's ripping it. How are you ripping it? And you from the 10,000 Lakes place.
Coldest place in America.
Right. Ice fishing, bro. I would never.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
That's another story. Yep. So what do you say when those are happening and the rest of us, we get mad, man. If I see another one of those DJ mode and I see everybody walking around and they ain't even nodding their head, this dude is ripping it and everybody's nonchalant, just like walking around. Hey, what's going on? You better.
You hear what's going on? Yeah, like come on. Yeah, I agree.
So, where are you at with that? And then I see some of them, and I know you want to, like, you got that gleam in your eye. Tell me if I'm wrong. You want to start to do this while you're spinning. Do, 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 do. You got the dancer DJs too.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, I just want to take a little further from what we always talk about the scene. Are we okay with that? The goal is to be broadcasting on YouTube. Whether this immediate crowd is loving it, we're going to ignore that. And the dancing DJ, is that intentional? What are your thoughts on those two?
So I think there's 2 things kind of to unpack here. I think to answer your last question first, I'll say that the dancing DJ, the performative, the extra, you know, showy, you know, type of person, right? Me, I come from, you know, an era where it was frowned upon, you know, that's putting it lightly, to, you know, take someone else's mixes, to, you know, be super extra, right? You know, the DJ, when it began, he was in the front, you know, he was the show, the MC was there to just uplift the DJ. Then they kind of took the background route, right? So most DJs during that 90s to early 2000s era were very much, I'm a behind the scenes guy. I'm here to support the artist and to, you know, I'm going to speak with my hands. Like, right. I'm putting my head down. I'm peeking up to look at the crowd, but I don't care how I look. There wasn't an image. There wasn't a vanity about that, right?
Yeah.
But with with social media, with YouTube, with these opportunities that could potentially broadcast to the rest of the world, they feel like the only way to do that is by entertaining, right? So now you have to be more of an entertainer. You have to be more of a show person. You have to have so many different qualities that you didn't need when I was coming. It was skills alone, right? Think about artistry. Think about just musicians in general. It was based on the merit of their quality of their body of work, their talent, and that's it. That talent got you booked. Now that's not the game that we're playing, right? Like the rules have changed a bit. So I want to give them grace in that space to be like, hey, you have to explore kind of use what you have to potentially get what you're looking to get, right? Which is opportunities, which is bookings, which is potentially that. And I think it's case by case. There might be an audience for that, right? And I think that they end up getting some attention for it, and then they double down on it, and it ends up becoming that. But I'm cool with it. Do whatever you want. Stand on your head if you want to, as long as the music's tight. Like I'm not trying to hear you train wreck mixes or have a pre-recorded set. And now you're doing backspins on the turntable. That's cute, but I'm about the music first. So as long as you lead with that, and that is the biggest part of your artistry. Take some time, be a bedroom DJ for as long as you need to be before you bring this out to the public. That's something that I look for. I look for integrity in the actual product. And if that's you and that's what you do, you need to, spice it up and make your videos a little bit more exciting by doing those things. Like, I'm not going to knock it, but it's when it's backwards. It's when they put that first versus the actual music that, I personally don't rock with. Yeah.
I like how you answered that. One, you a real one, and you didn't you didn't turn on them, because I ain't gonna lie. I was trying to amp it up a little bit, but to your point, there is artistry and there is entertainment. But yeah, man, we need that fine music, dog.
To me, it's the meat and potatoes of the meal, right? Like, that's cool. All that flashy stuff is cool, but to me, it's like if you lose that, I'm not interested. Like, you lost me. I don't care what you look like, what you're doing. You've lost me as the audience, right? And so we've rewarded, through social media, we've rewarded a lot of people who are not super talented. They're not really about that. They put together that 1 hour set, and that's all they got, and it's fire, and it's great because it's perfectly mixed on the thing. So yeah, could I knock it? Could I tear it down? 1,000,000%. It's easy, right? That's an easy target for someone who is really about it. To me, there's no other art form that happens with, right? There's a million piano programs that I can press one button and hit a chord, right? Yes. But am I gonna go and try to take Alicia Keys' opportunity? No, right? Like I'm not stepping up and be like, yo, Stevie, move down a little bit. I got my little bloop, and I'm gonna press one button and it's gonna play the sonata. Like, for me, I'm like, all right, cool. That's in theory that sounds cool, but it's like up to the audience to kind of like, or for us to educate the audience on, hey, there's levels to this. There's a difference in quality and integrity, and the ability to, like, you can tell the difference between an artist, a performer who has their soul into this. Like, this is what they do, this is what they live, they would do this if no one was watching, right? Yeah. And that's the difference. It's like we have a lot of people that only because people are watching, I'm going to do this. Only because it seems like a come up, I will enter into the space, because it's probably the path of least resistance to get some notoriety and some fame, right? There's, you got all the celebrity DJs, you got all the people that as soon as they become influencers, they either drop in a song or they're becoming a DJ. And so it floods the market with so much, right? And it's just incredible, like this huge amount of stimuli for audiences. And they don't know, they're none the wiser, right? Like, they're not as educated as you might be or I might be, because we've, studied and come up and really understood the kind of the path in which music took to get here, and then good versus not so good. You know what I mean? Quality is huge. And so I think that's what, to me, is like a little bit tough about seeing those guys popping up,
You've worked with some big brands, Nike, Pepsi, Netflix. How those collaborations come about?
So being in the industry as long as I've been, again, what I mentioned before, which was being part of the culture. So to me, I made sure that I was a part of and in the right rooms. because I knew that this was the direction and path that I wanted to take for my career. I knew that the club life, that had a expiration date, for me at least, right? That lifestyle wasn't for me to be, rocking 10 to 4 a.m., like that just didn't work, right? And then, so I knew I wanted to have a family. I knew I wanted to have children in the future. I knew that kind of would be incongruent to how I wanted to live, right? But I still love DJing. I still love being out. I still love doing events, right? But I need to be home at a reasonable hour. How do I do that? I'm gonna have to get into corporate events and things like that, right? So yeah. I began that process of, going to, certain events and galas and things like that to begin to network. And so through that networking, through the relationships that I formed, I was literally on a podcast. It was like a DJ podcast at, the age of 21. One of the guest speakers worked for Pepsi. Oh, funny enough. And he booked me for a Lipton Brisk opportunity because he was the guest on the, right. So it was like right place, right time. To this day, that person is still a great friend of mine. And from that, I got so many more opportunities. Once I was in kind of that, I had them in my sales funnel. I wasn't letting those clients go. I was making sure that I was delivering at a high level and made sure that I kept them happy. There was so much that I did to maintain those relationships, but getting them, that's a challenge in itself. And then maintaining the relationship is a challenge in itself, right? And you have to be very deliberate in how you approach those things, right? Come holiday season, I'm sending gift baskets. I'm sending, notes to make sure that these guys know, listen, I want you to think of me. Not just because I'm the best for the job, right? There's someone younger, there's someone less experienced, there's someone cheaper. There's all those other options out there, but I'm grateful that you choose to work with me. And I've been blessed to be able to keep these clients for as long as I have. And so all of them have like a similar story to that, whether it be through relationships and friendships, and work begets more work. Once I was in one place, the person that was at when I started at it was the rookie of the year. It was Jimmy Rollins for the Philadelphia Phillies. I was DJing at a nightclub. He and his people were there. They were like, yo, we're going to have this party. Want you to come down to Philly and rock out. When I was there, I did the party, and there was folks from the NBA that were there. This was like in 2008. They hired me immediately for NBA All-Star. From NBA All-Star, I'm at center court. I get hit by the people from New York Knicks. I'm like, and I'm in New York, but I'm sorry. Like I live in New York, never met these people, but I'm in LA, DJing for All-Star. And that's when they tapped me to get the opportunity to be able to come do a guest spot. It was Grandmaster Flash and me. And it was like all these things that, again, I give glory to God, because I know that it was one of those things that I know that I couldn't have manifested or create. I couldn't have done anything to create that opportunity. I couldn't have just cold called these people and I'm like, oh, I'm a DJ. Like, you want to hear from me? They probably would have hung up the phone. But just because I was in the right place at the right time, prepared, killed it, crushed it, take every opportunity and really give it my all. Like, there's so many nights that I give my all and nobody responds and I don't get no calls. Nobody came up and gave me the business card. Like, those nights happen too. And that's the kind of like the resilience to go through those moments, those seasons that are a little bit tougher to the work isn't coming in consistently. It's like, right, being able to weather those storms is super important as to be able to say that I'm still doing this 20 plus years later. And so for me, that's how those things were. It was like getting the opportunity through other opportunities and then maintaining those relationships, maintaining those contacts.
So I understand the networking, and that's changed a little bit nowadays. Are we still bringing business cards, or my business card has a QR code on it? How do you get someone to nowadays? Where do you see that at nowadays in 2025 for the young up and comers? Do you tell somebody, hey, just Google me? I mean, how do you do that on your way up?
Yeah, I think for them, the beautiful opportunity about it, I feel like it should be easier now, right? Like, access to the information is there. Like, they should feel empowered and excited about it, right? Like, if you come up in this time, blank, you just start off today and you're looking for those opportunities. Number one, you have to showcase your work. You have a free platform to show your work. You show it on YouTube, you show it on social, right? It's how you and I connected.
Yes.
Like, this is an opportunity that came to me. Like, I'm very fortunate because I was showing my work and this opportunity comes to me, I get to meet with you, connect with you, form a relationship and bond with you. So they have to look at it the same way. I'm showing my work, I'm sharing my work. Can't be shy or embarrassed to show your work. Be confident. That's why you got to be prepared. Like, be prepared, crush it, kill it. Now you have a portfolio, right? If you're a photographer, if you're a musician, if you're anything like that, like, create the demo. You have to do the work ahead of time. And then also the access to the events of where these people might be, right? So for me, I'm a DJ, I'm looking for event planners. I'm a DJ, I'm looking for promoters. I'm looking DJ. So yeah, in a nightclub, you're not gonna go be able to talk to the promoter and talk to management. That's not the space and the time to do that, right? So understanding when and where to approach these people, getting contacts, following up on LinkedIn. Your follow-up game got to be crazy. And when you go to these like industry events that are very, very accessible now, it's not the days of the gatekeeping and the thing. Like most of these innovation festivals, South by Southwest, in Austin, these kind of like Afrotech, all that stuff, everybody converges there. This is all the business people that you could think about. So you got to get yourself in those rooms. And when you're there, again, see how you can provide value for others, right? Like, yo, listen, maybe this first one, hey, I'm going to do a mix for you. Here's a little 30-minute mix. I heard that you like so-and-so artist. I saw on your page, you dig it. Yo, I did a mix with so-and-so. Okay, now you're just continuing to tap them and form that trust and that bond between you guys. We're like, yo, he really does his thing. Yeah, she does her thing. Like, she's incredible. Like, and he, oh my God, like she did this thing with her thing and staying top of mind. Because now the pool in which they can pull from a corporate perspective is wide, is vast, right? And with their budgets, they could hire pretty much anybody, right? A Nike, a Peloton, and things like that, right? They can go anywhere. So what is going to be your competitive advantage when you approach? So there's so much homework that you have to do as a person starting now. So much, like, you lay that foundation for yourself, having the portfolio, having a website that showcases your information, or even if it's just social media, like having all your social media tight so that when the opportunity strikes, when somebody does go to check you out, you look official, you look professional, you look like you can handle the opportunity that they may be able to provide for you, right? And so I think that that's both a gift and a curse, because nobody's going to come find you. It's a huge pool to cut through. There's a lot of noise. However, if you are consistent and you remain kind of like rooted in your value system and like how you want to do business, how you want to do things, you're going to find the right client that this is going to make sense with. And then from there, I think it'll snowball.
DJ Mo, listeners, this dude is dropping manhole covers on us. He easily could have flicked a dime at us. And you going in depth, you took the HR clip from earlier, and now you actually really helping us out. I mean, real talk, man. I'm very impressed with your desire to help others, to offer others, because on this platform, I did 220 episodes of first season. We had 96 here. Look, I had some people and they, not really, I got mine. Let them go get theirs. Do you see yourself? Do you see what you do and how you're trying to help people? Where is that coming from? Because you really seem like you're really trying to help us. Yeah.
I mean, to me, it really, that's innate. I can't explain where that generally comes from, right? Like maybe perhaps upbringing, perhaps my faith, all those things. But to me, more than anything is when I was younger, you just want to be seen, right? Like you just want the opportunity to be seen. Like, because again, I'm DJing in my bedroom, right? I'm like, yo, I want to be in front of a crowd. So that, to me, to be able to be blessed with that opportunity, to know that I was sitting at home and like, I got to go do this for myself, and realizing the lift that was to get in front of these people, to be able to, I didn't grow up. I didn't have the network. I didn't have the education. I didn't have those same opportunities that other people are afforded. I didn't grow up fortunate. And so to me, I want to cut down the time in which it took me, right? Let's say it takes me 20 something years to get where I'm at today. Let me cut that time down. Why? Because I care about our culture. I care about our people. I care about the, empowerment of that. I'm not intimidated by someone coming and taking my spot, because only I could do what I do. So for me, it's like, all right, cool. Like I see value in what you do. I see value in this DJ and that DJ. I think you have something unique here. I think you're special. I think that's awesome. but that person may not have the level of skill set or the access or the opportunities that I've been afforded because of all the work that I've done. And I've done that, but I'm okay to share that. I just think that that's my purpose here on earth. It's like, I'm not here to just gather, just like eat it all up for me. That's cool. I'm blessed. Unfortunately, I want all the gigs to come. However, if I don't do that, like where's my humanity at? Where does it lie? Like my service to the world? Like how am I contributing to this planet if I'm not giving what I got, right? Like, so I'm giving my talent, I'm giving my gifts, I'm sharing that with the world. Cool, dope. But you know what? There's guys that look like me, came from where I came from. There's women who, you know, have had rough goes at it, but they're gifted, they're talented, they're super duper special. And I'm like, nah, it's a shame if you die with that all in you. Like, if you don't get to share that with the world, if you ain't, I need to see you do something. You know what I mean? Like, I need to see you do something. And there's so many people that, you know, maybe they don't have the ambitions that I have to get to where, you know, to get into these rooms, or they want to do it on a small scale. Why? If I have it to give, if I have it to share with them, would I not? Because it doesn't encroach on what I'm doing, you know, at all. It doesn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. We can all eat. He said,
"There's enough for all of us."
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel it. That's what I'm getting from you. I appreciate that. Seriously.
No, thank you, man. And one last thing, I just want to interject. It's just like, it's really just, I'm fortunate to have a lot of great people around me to keep me grounded, and it's like an abundant mindset, right? Like, we have so much. If we really we get outside of our heads and we look at it around, there's so much talent around us. There's so much. Look to the left and the right of you, your boys, your friends, your girl. Like, there's so much there that we could all help each other out. Like, you're a great cameraman. All right, he does this, he does that. Like, yo, let's support one another. And, you know, a rising tide is gonna lift all the boats. Yes. If you go out there for self, you could go pretty far, right? By yourself, being selfish, stomping on people, doing the whole thing, right? We've all read 48 Laws of Power. What happens when, you know what I mean? Like, but have we tried the other side of it? Like, where it's not, you know, but when you grow up in a lack mindset, when you grow up in a certain environment, when you grow up, you know, experiencing what a lot of us have had to experience, I get how you can be defensive. I get how you can be guarded, how you can be like, yo, this is mine. Like, right, I can't share this. I can't share this because then I won't have. Right. But when you understand that the more that you give out, the more that comes to you. And that's been like the exemplary of like my life. Like, I've only gotten better things. So therein lies, there's no ego in that, right? Therein lies the opportunity to be like, yo, I share with the world. I put it out there. It's never a one-to-one. I'm cool with it. Like, that's for you. I blessed you. Cool. Don't talk about it ever again. Like, we good, because my blessings come from somewhere else, right? Yes. So I don't have that same air that some people might have, and that and again, I get it. It's salacious, it's exciting. People get hyped on that. They like to see the extra, but I'm like, I want longevity. You know, I want to be at peace. I want to be happy with myself when I look at myself in the mirror at night. And so to me, that's super important to me, to be able to, that's what I value in life more than anything else, you know?
Man, I could feel that. And there are some opportunities that you have had. I want to talk about some memorable events. Okay. Let's just say an NBA game. Were you ever rocking an NBA game and then Steph Curry inboxes you and it's like, son, during that, when I was over on the bench, I was losing my mind. You the man. Like, any memorable events from the NBA?
Yeah. So I would say that the guest DJ spot that I did for the NBA playoffs, this was back, I want to say, I'm going to blank on the year, but they played the Celtics. I remember that. And it was game 4 of the series, and pregame. So I was there early and I was just doing sound check. Right. And Melo came over and dapped me up and was like, yo, listen, you are, what? You're crushing it. Yo, that's ill. That's what's up. You know, and just walked away. That was incredible. I've gotten that same day, Spike comes by, daps me up. You know what I mean? So like, Spike Lee, I'm the hugest Spike Lee fan. That's my guy right there. And so the opportunity to be at Madison Square Garden, it was a surreal moment. It was something, that's his house. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm rocking, and my man comes and daps me up and gives you the head nod and gives you that level of acknowledgement. It doesn't need to be the big thing, but that to me means the world. That's validation right there of like, all right, cool. I'm in the right spot. I'm doing the right thing. Yes. They fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, it ends up being that.
I'm telling you, that's what I feel like. what's your creative process like when you're curating a set for a major event? I feel like you could easily get in your own head. You're probably your own biggest critic. Like, nah, don't throw that. Yeah, I should throw it. Nah, I don't want to put that in. Just how do you make these decisions? First thing that pops in my head, I go with. Or what's that process like?
Yeah, so for me, it's year after year, right? Like you could go on autopilot easily, right? And be like, oh, it's another US Open. It's another NYCFC season. Like, I know what works here. I can play this. No one's going to be the wiser. I could get away with that, right? So you're right. It is running through that filter of like, yo, I'm my own worst critic. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to, tear this down so much, or I'm going to pick it apart rather in such a great way. So for me, it's like, let's say preparation. We just started our season for NYCFC. This is my 10th season with the team. It's
Go DC United.
Nah, wait. I'm ending the call. Where's the?
Oh man,
we ain't doing that. No, but they, so coming back again after 10 years and really doing my due diligence to be like, yo, to look back at what I've done, to make sure that I'm like, yo, I want everything to sound fresh. I want it to sound new. I'm pulling new music. And also the ones that spark nostalgia. Like, I'm saying, does this give me a holistic experience? Like, is everybody in the building gonna hear their track at any given time? Like, oh, this is my song. Like, at any given time, because I can't make everybody happy, right? There's 25,000 people there, or I can't make them all happy at the same time, but I could at least make them happy for a moment in that game, in that evening, right? And so for me, I'm watching the crowd and I'm seeing what works and what doesn't work. And I have like a meticulous discovery process. So my process, let's say for curation, is I'm doing discovery. I'm deep diving. I'm listening to other DJs. I'm listening to other music. I'm listening to literally it'd be weird. Like on a random Saturday, I'm listening to Japanese funk. I'm listening to there's elements and there's things that you got to think about it. Like I'm painting a picture. I want as many colors as humanly possible. Like give me all the colors. Like I'm not cool with the little 8 crayon box. Like you could stick on that, but it's like, to me, I'm like, we're playing with emotions. Like this is something that if you get the right track at the right time, I know, every single person has an experience that they can say, yo, this was the soundtrack to that moment. This was the thing. This was the record that was playing when I was dating so-and-so. This is the record playing when I went through this. This is the record. There's so many moments that are tied to music, right? And so for me, I'm like, all right, what's 2025 sound like? What is this version of myself bring to the table, where it's like I'm more interesting to listen to, where I'm exciting myself through it, right? Because I'm such a tough critic. I'm like, if I put together a mix and I'm hyped off of it, and I'm like, okay, that's my jumping off point. And then from that, I'm like, okay, what is everybody else listening to? What are all these other? And then I'll incorporate those elements, right? Like it's, I do have a job to do. I do have to make certain people happy. We do have certain elements in our script that have to be programmed a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's just collaborative effort with the team, with marketing and whatnot. But for me, that's how I start things.
Yo, DJ Mo, you took all my time, man. I just looked up at you. Gotta be kidding me. This guy.
This flew by. This was fun.
This was fun. I'm gonna finish with this one last one. Sure. I have a question that I had lined up. But I'm gonna skip that. There's something that popped in my head I want to ask you, and then I want to go through like what's hot, what's popping, what's on that stove with you like right now.
Okay.
Yo, I remember, I think Mace, maybe it was Cameron on their podcast. One of them was like, yo, when I go to a city, I don't check in. I don't do that Big Brother thing. How has that ever happened to you? Just here's my example that popped in my head when you said that. Okay, NYCFC. I said DC United. I watch a lot of Miami because my kids think Messi walks on water. I'm a Ronaldinho fan. Uh-huh. They appreciate the clips, but that was then and there for now. So what happens if what if Inter Miami asks you to pull up and do like a guest? And maybe there's some contractual stuff, but if you could bear with me, what if that happens? Like, there's Ronnie Cycli down in Miami, and I apologize, I can't go deeper than that. On who runs?
That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. I like that.
But like, do you feel obligated? Do you feel the Kendrick Lamar vibe of, oh, y'all giving me the Super Bowl in New Orleans? Nah, I ain't bringing nobody from Cash Money. He didn't do none of that. He said, "This is my time."
No limit, none of that. Yeah.
He did. So like, what would you do if like that happened? Somebody pulled you. Like if you had to go do Philly, and DJ Jazzy Jeff is there, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna use DJ Mo." Like, what would you do, or how have you done it?
So again, in those instances where I've been booked in another city, it's never the check-in thing. I've toured, I've done a lot of things, so I have a lot of great relationships I've in every city that I've visited, right? And there's certain guys that I mess with from each city. You know, for them to stomach that, like I can't speak for them. Like honestly, I don't approach it that way. But again, like I said, when you mention Texas, when you mention all these other places, played in London, played here, played there, I'm immersing myself in the culture of that city. I'm understanding that city's, you know, music and things like that. And the crowd will tell you if you messing up. The crowd will tell, like, if they don't mess with you. If you're out of town and you look like you're a colonizer versus you're part of us. Like you're one of us or not, right? And so for me, I've always like prided myself on that. It was like, yo, you can put me in any room with any demographic and like we're gonna rock. And I hang my hat on that all day. So for me, I think I get the respect because I'm of the culture. I've been doing it for so long. I'm someone who understands the music. I'm not coming in here to get a quick, get the bag real quick, bounce out. Like there's a part of me that is, for instance, I did a party in Atlanta. It was like a Biggie party. It was I know this is like a controversial thing right now, but it was like a all bad boy party. This is like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Right. And they flew me out for that, right? It's a big Atlanta party that this is like, we got all the Atlanta guys, we got all the things, but they were like, yo, we want to make a theme night. Let's have a guest from New York come through. And I was expecting that energy because they got like 4 or 5 DJs on the lineup. It's a long night and everybody, they kill, like they crush, like they're great DJs right down there. So I'm like, to me, it's like it's competitive in nature, but it's just like 5-on-5 in the court. Like, everybody's gonna go hard. Everybody's trying to take the other's head off. Like everybody's trying to kill it. But you got to show me with that. Like there's no intimidation tactics. There's none of that because it's like I'm so prepared. Bring what you got. Do your best. Like I want that because nothing excites me more. Like I'm gonna rise to the occasion. If I see him, if I go after you and you going crazy, that's the only way that you're gonna be able to shut me up. That's the only way you're gonna be able to not have me sit up in there and like, that's it. I'm taking dominion over this whole room. Like, this is me, right? I'm going to own the crowd. Like, they're going to rock with me. I promise you. Like, doesn't matter that I'm from New York, but I'm coming to Atlanta or I'm coming to, because I've done the work. Like, this is going to speak for itself, right? So thank God I've been blessed to not have any negative, super negative experiences where I could call and recall. But I just enjoy the art form so much. I enjoy music so much. I enjoy people so much. I enjoy seeing people happy. Yeah. That's my goal in the night. Like if you don't rock with that, that's like a you problem, Man,
I told you that was the last one, but I just got to follow up. Was it hard to mix with all that baby oil? Like you was trying to like, wow, man, I got it everywhere. I'm just trying
to gotta bring a washcloth along,
Yo, respect, man. What's hot right now? You got so many things that you're into. I don't even want to try to minimize by saying, oh, you only got this popping. What's hot for you right now?
So for me, it's we're building up the brand Symphony. So I'm an investor in a rum company called Symphony No. 3 Rum. And we've it's been out for about 4 years. This is our 4th year being in production. We're all over the US. We are beginning to build our presence overseas. So we just started to do some stuff in Spain and Portugal. So, we can get the product all over the US and it ships all over the US. It's bottled, funny enough, in Minnesota. And there's a dark and a light rum. Yeah, speaking of Minnesota, so familiar with that city. And so we're bottled there. And it's something that I'm really excited about because I just think that it's again, Symphony No. 3, it being a music thing. There's so many opportunities for me to kind of like inject my level of expertise into our branding, our messaging, and things like that. And then the product itself is really great. It's it's a delicious spirit. And so I'm super excited about that. Like, I think that's one of the things that I want to continue to push this year and to kind of bring some more awareness to. So that and the New York City FC season, we just kicked off. So super excited about that. That's going to be fun. And then US Open in the summertime. So that's what's happening with me.
Okay, I am going to be moving to New York. And so in my mind, I'm taking my kids to the US Open. I'm taking them to all the tennis events. We haven't even been to one. I'm looking forward to it. And so when we get there, if I look up and you're there, I'm geeking out.
Bro, I appreciate that. And listen, I'm fortunate. Like the biggest thing that I got popping is that this episode is dropping. So I'm excited about this and to share this. This is a terrific conversation, man. I really do appreciate it. And yes, when you come to New York, I got you. All these things, like, again, they like soccer. You got to show them a new team. You got to show them some new players that they can potentially root for. I know that's a tough sell. It is. They like their guy, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Yeah. And we just have to live with that. That's the youth. That's all the youth. You can't argue Michael, LeBron. Like, you can't do that no more. Like, you can't. These kids love, LaMelo. They love, like it's.
DJ Lowe, let me tell you how horrible my timing is. I bought them a dog. He's a little over 2 years old now. He's like a week or two older than my son. My dog's name is Hawk.
Okay.
Messi has the exact same dog, and his is named Hulk.
No way.
It's meant to happen, man. These kids are
like, yo, that's it. That's the synergy we need.
I don't know if I could ever wean them off now. It's like it's just too much for them right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. But hey, thank you very much. We appreciate you talking with Donato.
Of course, man. It's my pleasure. My pleasure, man. God bless, man.